So I'll give you a quick update with what's going on in the world of Tim right now. I had surgery on last Tuesday for sleep apnea. They'd go in and do shit in my throat. My throat kind of hurts. Hopefully it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it starts messing with my speech and stuff because it starts fucks me up. But hopefully that won't be a problem. If it is, then I'll have to cut it. But right now I'm feeling pretty good. Physically, I've been feeling all right since the surgery, and I ended up actually coming back to work yesterday to do one, and I was like, fuck, I feel good. I'm coming back tomorrow. So I booked today, and I'm pretty much back to normal after this. Tony, I really appreciate you saying you feel I'm underappreciated. See, it's funny because I've never felt like I'm underappreciated as an artist. I do feel like, you know, with any culture, I guess if you want to call tattooing a culture, or any profession, anything, there's always circles of people, and there's always the circles of what's popular and what's cool, and I've always kind of been on the outskirts of that. You know, it's like I'll associate with all these people and like I'll consider them friends, but I never quite get over into that realm of the work they do to, you know, to be considered like, I don't know, one of the cool kids. But I think that's kind of just par for the course with my life. It's like I always feel like I'm slightly on the outside of things, and while I used to look at that as a negative, I really turned it around and I look at it as a positive, because if I consider myself an outsider and I see myself as being outside of everybody else, then it actually gives me certain advantages. You know, it lets me not peer pressure, less peer pressure on me. I don't feel the need to conform to you know, what other people are going to think I should be doing, except for my clients. That's it. You know, I work with my clients. So I feel like actually being, you know, underappreciated, like you said, has been a little helpful for me. So Mickey wants to know what style of tattoo. What's up, Mickey? He wants to know what style of tattoo I consider myself least familiar with. I think it would absolutely be color realism. I don't do color portraits. I want to learn, I really do. There's something about portraiture and realism in general that don't totally click with me. I think a lot of it comes from my own background in art, which is so firmly rooted in the 90s, comic books and cartoons from like the early 90s and stuff. So I didn't have formal art training, so I didn't get any of that like here, like nude figure drawing and shit like that. I was, you know, copying Ren and Stimpy and X-Men comics. So, you know, all my style of art tends to come from that, you know, cartoons and illustration and animation and stuff. So I think realism and color realism in particular. Black and gray, I've kind of gotten the hang of doing black and gray portraits. I feel confident with most of them. So, but it's that color realism doesn't quite click. You know, if I actually did what I said and learned how to like paint portraits, then I could probably learn how to do a color portrait tattoo. But you know, I'm always saying I'm going to do a million things. You know, Tony, getting burnt out with your artwork, staying motivated. Like it's tough. It's real easy to get burnt out with you know, creativity, especially if you're really pushing yourself hard. I get burnt out. I do. It happens often. I mean, sometimes when I see me posting stuff, I'm kind of beating myself up a little bit, like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not working hard enough, or there's more I could be doing. And it's because it's not so much that my creativity's gone. I don't know how this works for you, but it's not so much that my creativity's gone. It's that I've forgotten it. I have ideas, and they're constantly coming. And I'll be working on one thing, and I'll have this idea, or like I'll be tattooing, I'll have gloves on, I'll have this idea, and then I don't stop and write it down, and it's gone. You know, so I'll have a million ideas going on, and it's like, if I write them all down, then I'll never run out. I'll always have something I can go work on. So there's that part of it for me. I don't know if that affects you at all. Another thing for me is I get stuck in a rut where I feel like I'm not doing anything new, and when that starts happening, if it's with my artwork outside of tattooing, I'll just switch mediums. I do a lot of painting, I do a lot of marker drawings, I do a lot of watercolors, I switch back and forth between them. I do mixed media collage, and I just switch back and forth. Lately, it's been a lot of painting. I've been doing paintings with paint markers and spray paint. I've been having a lot of fun with it, but I have a feeling I'm getting ready to make a switch again soon, and I'm probably heading back to the markers. So outside of tattooing, I will switch to a new medium when I start feeling stale. In tattooing, I try to switch up what I'm doing. So if I'm working on a lot of the same kind of thing, I try to work in something different. So I think if you're getting stuck with the creativity side of photography, what I would probably do if I was a photographer is I would switch subjects. If you're normally shooting one subject, try shooting something different. If you normally shoot in color, shoot black and white for a while. If you normally shoot black and white, vice versa, or maybe start playing with some different effects. Just kind of push outside of what you're normally doing. When I was really working on developing a style of art and a style of tattooing, one of the things I did a lot to keep myself going was I would just copy people's drawings. I would just sit there and copy their drawings, and I wouldn't tattoo it on people, but I would just reproduce or try to draw my things in the style of that person. And the reason I would do that is because doing it the way somebody else does it kind of gives you an insight, a little bit, as much as it can, gives you an insight into what their process. And when you can get an insight into somebody else's process, then it can help you with your own process. So those are a couple things I do to, especially if I'm getting kind of stuck, to keep me motivated. But just general day-to-day motivation is, there's a couple aspects to that. And this goes for anybody else. I'm really spending a lot of time on this question. I'm sorry. This one just got me kind of going. So general day-to-day motivation with doing artwork. Lately, it hasn't even been a question of, am I motivated to do this? It's been I have to. I have to do it. I can't not do it. And when I hit a point that I can't do it, I just don't. And it might be a couple days, might be a week, and then I'm like, I better do this, and then I get back up and do it again. But I'll go for weeks, months, sometimes, where I just am constantly producing. I mean, it's sometimes I have to force my own hand. It's one way to keep yourself motivated. Sometimes you force yourself, and it kind of gets the ball rolling too. Mara, my 5-year career goals. That's a good question, because I'm not even sure what my 5-year career goals are. As far as tattooing goes, I just want to improve. I want to improve, and I just want to help the artists here better establish themselves. At this point, it's not just about my career, it's about everybody else here. I'm okay. I have a client base. I'm gonna have a client base. I try to treat everybody good. I try to do the best I can and try to expand my own skill set. But now it's I want that for everybody else. And I want them to be happy. So most of my career goals within tattooing are actually for the shop and not for me. I'd say it's helping everybody improve themselves and build that solid client base. Just have a good knowledge of what they're doing, why they're doing it. Because I think that's really important in general. Beyond that, I have a lot of artistic goals. There's a lot of merchandising goals where I want to be okay, I produced this much art to put in a book and then release the book. I actually want to write a book outside of tattooing, which I've been working on conceptually for a while. And I don't know, basically that means I'm not working on it. But I want to write a book. I really want to move into the public speaking arena. I know it's gonna take some time, because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get into that, and honestly, I'm intimidated by it. It's something very foreign to me. It's the type of communities that usually hire speakers to come in are not the type of communities that usually want a guy that looks like me coming in there to talk to them. So, it's intimidating, but that's I'd say that's my biggest career goal in general right now, is that. I will do more live art. I haven't done any lately. Been doing a little bit of like production line style where I'm working on a series, so I'll pick something up and like paint on it for 10 minutes and then switch off. So I feel like it's been a little boring, and I will get into it. I really like doing the live art stuff, so soon. I kind of took a step back from doing a lot of live. I was really trying to push it real hard, and basically I was getting overwhelmed with how much I was trying to take on. So I had to like take a step back, and unfortunately live was one of the things that got cut, but I'm slowly starting to work it back in as I'm putting other things on the back burner to focus on other things. This is the juggling of my list of things I want to accomplish. It's a constant juggling act for me. You know, I really do want to hire an assistant. I don't know when I could do that. See, it's like there's a timeline of things that have to happen in order for me to have an assistant. Like, part one is me and my wife have to buy a house. So, you know, that's what we're working on now. We want to buy a house. That's like what we want to do so bad. So that's our only goal right now, buying a house. Once we buy a house, then I have an art studio space. That's like a must. I need a space for studio. Once I have studio space, then I have a place to put all my shit. Once I have a place to put all my shit, I can organize it, and then somebody can help me to follow along with my tasks. So an assistant would be ideal, but it's also not something I can do just yet. Hopefully, I'd like to say, you know, by next year I'll be able to bring somebody in to help out. My favorite style of tattooing, I'd say, is overall it's new school, but not the new school, like the old new school, like from the 90s. I think that stuff's great, like Desert Chrome. I love that shit. You know, big fat outlines. It's probably my favorite because I started tattooing at 98. So I came in during that whole era, and it's you know, plus, like I said, the illustration and comic book and cartoon background to all my art, it falls right in line with it. You know, but it's not the only thing I like to do. I have to mix it up. I get bored, like I was saying earlier, you know, switching up mediums. Like while I tattoo, I switch up styles. I do believe that I get to do enough of what I want, because I think I mostly do what I want. I'm super appreciative of the fact that I'm in a position where I have a wait list. So, you know, having people that want to get work by me, and enough people that want to get work by me that I can't possibly tattoo them all. But that also allows me to kind of sift through and pick out certain stuff and do certain things. Part of that is for my own satisfaction, but part of that is also because I know that if I can't have my head in it 100%, that it's not going to be my best work, or it's not going to be fair to them. So, you know, so when I do tell people no and I'm not the best person for it, it's because I know I'm not going to be able to get 100% into it for whatever reason, and if I can't, then it's not fair. You know, I don't want to just take people's money and then do stuff that I don't feel good about. You know, because if I don't feel good about it, then something's off there. So yeah, I do get to do stuff that I like, and I do appreciate that a lot of my clients are allowing me to kind of push the envelope a little bit and do things beyond what I would normally be doing, and really start experimenting a bit. You know, because even I'm almost 20 years in now. This year is 19 years for me, but even now, you know, I still want to grow. I still think there's a lot of progress to be made. Like, I'm not the best, you know, and it's like, I know I'll never be the best, but it's still, that's my goal with everything. I'm a perfectionist, but I understand I can't be perfect, but it's always my goal to push toward it. You know, it's like the cool thing about perfectionism, once you get past the idea that you won't be perfect and you can accept it and come to terms with it, once you get past that portion of perfectionism, what you're left with is a never-ending goal. So you're left with something you can constantly chase forever. And if the chase is really what makes you happy, then, you know, you're good. So it's like there's work you got to do, but now it's like I don't fight my perfectionism. I work with it. It used to crush me, and break my spirit. But now it's just kind of there. And yeah, I still want to be the absolute best at everything, but I know I won't be, and that's okay. I always wanted to be an artist. I mean, I remember when I was like 6 thinking like, what should I be when I grow up? Am I supposed to be a fireman? You know, but the thing is, the only thing I did when I was 6 was draw. So, you know, it was by the time I was like 10 or 11, I was like, I'm going to do art. And, you know, by the time I was 12, I was like, I'm going to draw comic books. And then I started smoking pot. And then I got a tattoo. And then I was like, I'm doing tattoos. So, I mean, I always wanted to be an artist. You know, I don't even think that tattooing is necessarily the end all for my art career and art life. You know, I mean, I built a career. This isn't just like, you know, a passing thing for me or anything. Because I know some people are like that, but it's my life, you know. But that doesn't mean it's also the end all for it. I mean, who knows? Like, I don't know if I'll tattoo forever. I mean, honestly, there may come a point in my life where I want to retire. I don't know. I always say I won't retire until I can't see or I can't move my hands. But, you know, if I could make the same amount of money painting and sitting in my basement, I might do that, you know. I mean, I would never stop entirely because it's still an outlet of expression for me, and I still enjoy it. But I mean, I don't know. I just need to be creative. That's the thing, is I need to be doing something creative. I have to be making things, you know. It's just like integral to my being, really. I haven't been doing this too long here, but my throat is really starting to kind of go on me, and my voice is probably going to be shot pretty soon. So I'm actually going to be wrapping up. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. This means the world to me that you guys care enough to want to ask me shit. So yeah, I'm going to do this again soon. Sorry I've been gone for so long.